Starting a podcast sounds cool until you realize how much goes into it. You think you need a fancy mic, a soundproof room, editing software, a hosting platform, and suddenly you're spending money before you've even said a word. But here's the thing, you no longer need to do any of that. Thanks to AI, you can plan, record, edit, publish, and even promote a podcast entirely for free. No mic, no studio, and no technical skills needed. If you've ever wanted to start a podcast and felt overwhelmed, this is your shortcut. In this video, I'll show you how to launch a full-on podcast using only free AI tools, the same tools freelancers are now using to run entire podcast businesses. You'll learn how to come up with great podcast ideas with ChatGPT, record episodes without even using your voice, and edit your podcast like a pro with zero experience. I'll also teach you how to create cover art and promotional videos for your podcast. Once we're finished with all that, I'll teach you how to get your podcast on Spotify and other hosting platforms without having to pay for hosting. We'll even cover how you can monetize your podcast using simple strategies that anyone can try. So yeah, you don't need gear, you don't need a budget, you just need this guide and a little creativity. Let's get into it. Before you record anything, you need to know what your podcast is about. What are you going to talk about? Who is it for? And what makes it different? That's where ChatGPT comes in. Let's say you're into true crime, personal finance, or even politics. You don't need to sit around brainstorming for hours. Just type into ChatGPT, "Give me 10 podcast niche ideas for listeners who are into politics." And there you have it. You get a list of creative, targeted concepts. And if something clicks, you can ask follow-ups like, break down the first 5 episodes for this topic. Write a 20-minute outline for episode 1. Give me a catchy episode title and description. ChatGPT will give you the intros, bullet points, transitions, and even social media captions. You can also ask it to write an entire podcast script if you prefer reading rather than freestyling. And it's not just for solo episodes. If you're planning interviews, ChatGPT can help generate questions, segment formats, and even game or discussion ideas. You basically have a free podcast producer at the palm of your hand. Another cool tip, once you've got a niche, ask ChatGPT to analyze popular shows in that space. Something like, what's the style of top podcasters when it comes to politics? This will let you know your competition and help you be original rather than repetitive. And the best part is that all this can be done using just the free version of ChatGPT. So imagine what you could do with the pro version once you start making money. Once you've got your ideas down and planned your episodes, it's time to hit the record button. But what if you don't have a mic, or you don't like your voice? Maybe you just don't feel like talking for an hour today. Well, no worries. Let's start with ElevenLabs. This tool lets you generate super realistic voiceovers from text. You can choose from their free voice library, or even create your own cloned voice if you want something unique. So imagine this. You write your episode script with ChatGPT, paste it into ElevenLabs, and hit generate. Boom, your episode is ready to go. No awkward pauses, no background noise, no having to edit your own voice. It just works. The free plan on ElevenLabs gives you enough voice credits for short to medium episodes, especially if you're only doing 10 to 15-minute shows. But there's also another option, Fine Voice. If you do want to record your real voice but don't have a mic, Fine Voice turns your phone into a high-quality microphone. You connect it to your laptop via Wi-Fi or USB, and suddenly, your $0 setup sounds way more professional. You can even add voice filters if you want to sound deeper, clearer, or like a radio host. If you're doing interviews, tools like Riverside.fm and Zencaster let you record high-quality remote conversations, audio and video on free plans. These apps record locally on each person's device and then upload it, so the quality remains high even if your internet connection is poor. If you're feeling extra creative, you can try combining a chatbot with a voice AI and literally create a podcast where 2 AI-generated voices are having a conversation with each other. It sounds weird, but also kind of brilliant. The bottom line is, you don't need a studio. You don't even need your own voice. AI gives you multiple ways to record podcast episodes that sound like they were done in a professional setup. Next up, we'll talk about how you can edit and clean up your podcasts. So you've got your audio. Now it's time to edit. But don't worry, this isn't something complicated, where you have to use confusing software and press a million buttons. With AI tools, editing audio is now as simple as editing a Word doc. Meet Descript, your new best friend. Descript turns your audio into text and then lets you edit the audio just by editing the text. So if you delete a sentence from the script, it's gone from the audio. Need to move a paragraph? Just cut and paste. Done. And here's the fun part. Descript automatically removes filler words like and awkward silences with one click. You don't even have to listen through the whole thing. It does the cleanup for you. If you recorded with ElevenLabs or another AI voice, you can still drop that file into Descript and make tweaks. There's even an overdub feature where you can type in new words, and it will add them to your voice. Sounds like something from science fiction, doesn't it? Now, if you want to clean up your sound further by balancing the audio, leveling the volume, and getting rid of background noise, you should check out Auphonic. It's an AI-powered mastering tool that makes your podcast sound like it was done by a real professional. Just upload your audio, hit go, and then download the polished version. Both Descript and Auphonic have generous free plans that are more than enough to get started. You don't need a subscription unless you're going heavy on content every week. Even if you hate editing, these tools make it fast, painless, and honestly kind of fun. No timeliness or stress. You just get ready to go, clean audio. Now, once you're done perfecting your audio, you also want to make sure your podcast looks as good as it sounds. That's where our next section comes in, where I teach you how you can create custom cover art and shareable audiograms for your podcast. First things first, you need a podcast cover. This is the square image that people will see on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you share your podcast. It needs to be eye-catching, readable, and match your show's vibe. This is where Canva comes in. Canva is the ultimate free design tool. You can search for podcast cover and instantly access hundreds of free templates. Just pick the one you like, change the text, and swap in your colors. Maybe even drop in a cool AI-generated image if you're feeling creative. If you don't want to use a photo of yourself or your guest, you can use Crayon or Leonardo AI to generate unique illustrations for your theme. Maybe you want a black and white theme if you're doing a crime podcast, or a more professional-looking theme if you're discussing business. Next, let's talk about promotion. You're going to want audiograms, those short animated clips with moving waveforms and captions. These are perfect for TikTok or YouTube Shorts. For these, you can use Headliner. You upload a snippet of your episode, pick a layout, and Headliner turns it into a sleek video within seconds. Add your title, captions, and maybe a background image, and you've instantly got your promotional content. Now I'll share a bonus tool, CapCut. If you're turning your podcast into video or want to post behind-the-scenes clips, CapCut makes editing super easy. Add subtitles, cut clips, and add cool transitions. All you have to do is drag and drop. Plus, it's free. So even if you're not a designer, all these AI tools will make your podcast look great. Whether it's cover art, reels, or thumbnails, you can use AI to do it. Now that you're done with the audio and the design, it's time to hit the publish button. Which brings us to more good news. You don't need to pay for a hosting platform. There are free platforms that will automatically publish your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. The easiest place to start is Spotify for podcasters. Just go to podcasters.spotify.com, create a free account, and publish your podcast. You'll fill in your title, description, cover art, and episode file, then hit publish. That's it. Your podcast is now live on Spotify. You can also use rss.com or Podbean, both of which have free plans and help you distribute your show to multiple hosts. They give you an RSS feed link, which can be submitted to Apple Podcasts and others. Another benefit of these platforms is that they give you basic analytics, so you can see how many plays you're getting, where your listeners are from, and which episodes perform best. If you want to schedule episodes in advance, add show notes, or update episode details later, you can do all that from the dashboard. It's super simple. And remember, you don't need to publish daily. One episode a week is more than enough to grow your audience. Once you've done all this using AI as your middleman and officially become a podcaster, there are various ways to make an income using it. And the best part is that you don't need millions of viewers to start earning. You just need to use smart strategies. Yes, AI can help with that too. To start off, let's talk about affiliate marketing. On sites like PartnerStack or Impact, you can find programs that match your podcast topic and start plugging the relevant links in your show's notes. So let's say you're hosting a wellness podcast, you could refer to meditation apps. If it's about tech, you can drop links to certain software. You can even use ChatGPT to help write down a casual pitch for your marketing, making it sound original and not cheesy. For example, you can give the prompt, write down a casual one-sentence pitch for a meditation app for podcast listeners. Simply paste that into your episode description. You might be surprised to hear this, but you can also freelance using podcasts. You can either offer your services on the podcast itself, or you can go to platforms like Freelancer or People Per Hour, where you can offer your whole AI podcast service to others as well. This is actually a gig people are offering right now, as clients will pay to have podcasts made for them. Finally, there are digital products that you can offer. You can use your episodes to create mini guides, checklists, and tutorials, and then sell them online. Once again, ChatGPT can help you create content. So, As you can see, even with a zero budget, your podcast can be turned into a small business. AI doesn't just help you create, it helps you get paid. From planning and recording to editing, designing, and publishing, you can now launch a full podcast using 100% free AI tools. No studio, mic, or gear is required. Your ideas and creativity are all that's needed. Whether you're doing this for fun, to build a brand, or just for a freelancing side hustle, AI has made podcasting more accessible than ever. And honestly speaking, there's never been a better time to start. Podcasts are trendy these days, as an increasing number of famous personalities are starting to appear on episodes. It gives them a way to relate to their audience and share personal stories that would not be possible otherwise. If you found this video useful, drop a comment below and let me know if you're thinking about starting your own podcast. What topics would you focus on? As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in for more amazing content.